So I would say that it's like bringing flowers into a home or event. You're adding the wonder and beauty of God's creation into your home. So that's what I think flowers do. And I always want to be careful to make sure that it's like, this is God's creation. Like he made these beautiful flowers, all the textures, all the smells, all the shapes, all the colors, like they're incredible. So I think floral design can really showcase God's creation and beauty to glorify him in that way. And so that would be my mission.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Feminine Glory podcast. I am one of your hosts, Lydia Edmonds, and I'm joined by my delightful co-host, Esther Edmonds.
Hello, everyone.
And we have a very special interview today, so let's jump into it.
Alrighty, so we have on the podcast today Amy Prince, but who is Amy Prince? Amy Prince is the happy wife of Josh Prince and mother to 4 hilarious teenagers, Josh, Ruthie, Titus, and Noah. Being a wife and mother is her greatest joy and calling, and when she's not cooking large amounts of food for her boys, you will find her in her garden or arranging flowers for her side hustle floral business. We are so excited that she is joining us today, so Mrs. Prince, welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I have to say, cooking large amounts of food sounds just like our house.
Yes.
We only have 2 brothers, so there's kind of even out the 2 boys and 2 girls. But I have to know, what is a family favorite that y'all are always cooking?
Always cooking Mexican food.
Yeah,
I can just
that's a good
do
one.
that. Yes.
That's
so that's
great.
a family favorite for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do a lot, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You can do it like 10 different ways.
Yes, you can.
Oh my word, yes. There are so many. What's your favorite style to do it? Do you like tacos or like Mexican salad?
Yeah, we
or...
do fajitas, chicken fajitas, tacos.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So you and your family now call Idaho home. So how long have you been there, and what was the journey that led you to settle among the rolling wheat fields of Idaho?
We have lived in Moscow for almost 1 year, so we're still settling in. But we had considered and prayed about moving for probably 5 years. But my husband is a firefighter in Bothell, Washington, which is 5 hours from Moscow. And that was the big reason we didn't move earlier, was because he needed a job to provide for the family. So that doesn't translate over here. The fire department here is volunteer. So anyways, it was just something that we prayed about. And one day he came home from work and said he was willing to commute. So he does a 5-hour commute.
Oh, my word.
In order that we can live here. Yeah, it's an amazing sacrifice on his behalf. He has a unique schedule, though, because he works a 48-hour shift. So he'll work for 2 days and then have time off. So it allows for us to do this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
yeah.
You go ahead.
So did you have a garden in your last house? Like, is gardening something you've always done, or was it a new thing when you moved?
Yes, I have gardened since I was a teenager. Not flowers, though. That came later on. But I've always had a small garden and love to plant and grow things. So yeah.
What initially then sparked the interest into the floristry side of things?
When my kids were little, like the little years, we attended a church where there was an older lady who would bring bouquets every Sunday to church for women in the church, and I just loved that she did that. And so I would always talk to her. I was in a season of life where growing flowers and arranging flowers wasn't the time for me. She was what sparked that interest in me. I thought, oh, how lovely that you could grow flowers and bring them as a gift to people that you go to church with. So I would say that's where it began. Then I just started reading and planting perennial flowers that would come back year after year. And we homeschooled our children prior to moving to Moscow. Now they go to Logos. So being at home with them just allowed me to study myself and have a garden. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it's begun.
That's like very similar to us. Like we did like the vegetable side of things, and then like the perennials and all of that. And it was kind of like from there, took a deep, I mean, we did like zinnias and sunflowers and things, but it's kind of a deep dive into so many different varieties as I, learn more.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite perennial that you like to grow?
Oh, that's always a tough one.
Yes.
if I could only grow one flower, it would be an English rose.
Yeah.
I love all of the David Austin roses. I had a large collection in Tacoma that I couldn't move with me.
Oh,
So
That's so sad.
that was really difficult to leave.
oh, I'm sure.
I would
if
imagine.
you are a gardener, I built that over years. So
Yes.
it's like I would invest when I could, and I would buy plants on sale. And anyways, so I'm starting again here, which is fun.
Yeah, because you remember like things you didn't like about the old ones, so you get to fix that, and then as you learn and know more, it's like, well, I'm gonna try this method out or do it this particular way. So it's sad but fun all at the same time.
Exactly.
But I would say it's not for the faint of heart, for sure.
Oh, no.
Because, growing a garden and if you're growing vegetables or flowers or whatever, that takes a lot of hard work and labor. And to not even know if it might die the next year or are the seeds going to come up, it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
I agree for sure.
So, at what point then was it like, all right, I have this passion and love for flowers, I'm gonna turn it into a business venture?
So I modeled what I saw in that. Her name was Patty Huggins. I modeled what I saw in her. Just started growing flowers and bringing them to church for people, and that gave me an opportunity to practice. So I was just, I had no prior education or experience with like arranging flowers, and so I just started practicing. And then, when you do something, not every day, but a lot, maybe several times a week, I would just get better at it. And then families would be like, oh, you should do flowers for my wedding or for our baby shower or events. So within my family and our local church, I just started volunteering, really. Like, I like to do this. I'm not a professional. So let me bless you. And then I get practice. So I wouldn't say that I made money initially. It was a good partnership. I could bless families with a new skill. And so as I did that more and more, then obviously anything you practice and get good at, it's like, it worked into a business just naturally. And it was something that I could do as a mom that, I could pick and choose when it fit with my family. And that was really important for me. So I homeschooled my children, and like my focus was for my family. And so flowers was a way where I could look at our family schedule, talk to my husband, say, would this work? And so that was a great opportunity for me to balance both worlds in a way that would honor the Lord and my family. So just doing events for like friends and family was how I got into it.
I love that. I love how it started as like a blessing for your community, but started with a blessing from somebody who blessed you with it, and then you thought that was really neat that you carried that on. I think that's a really neat story. That's how it should be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
my husband always said, like, this was a gift that God gave you and you should give it away. So I always think about that. Like, I have no problem making money from it, but I have tried to continue to still give away flowers. That brings me more joy. Like, when I can give like an outrageous arrangement to a friend who I know could never buy it, that almost brings me more joy than when I make a lot of money on a wedding or an event or something. So I like both. I like to be doing both at the same time.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like not burying the talents that the Lord has given you.
Yeah.
Like the servants.
Right.
I love that. So who
That's
or
exactly
what would you say shaped your floral style? Because it's very beautiful and very unique.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of Erin from Floral?
Yes.
In Skagit Valley. So when I started modeling what my friend Patty Huggins did, I thought, I need to copy some method. Like, I don't have any background in floral design. I am more of a creative person, so that appealed to me. And so anyways, I bought her book because she was local. We moved from Tacoma, Washington. So she's kind of a local celebrity in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
So anyways, I bought her books and just she did mini workshops and she offered courses, and I just started doing that. And and then she would recommend floral designers, and I would buy their book, and I would just open up these books that I bought and start practicing. So I would find an arrangement that I liked, and I would some of them would give like step-by-steps how to build an arrangement. And I would do that all the time. I would just practice. And that's why I started buying perennials, because I knew, or like the cut and come again flowers, like I need to build a garden where I can continually be making arrangements and practicing, but not have everything be dead in a week because I picked everything.
Right.
Yeah, both of those were going on side by side.
I have to say, it is just like so beautiful, like all the wedding work and just all the bouquets that you're doing all the time. Like, I opened up my Instagram one time, I think I did almost like a gasp, like, oh, and it was one of your bouquets, and like showed it to my family. It's just absolutely beautiful.
I would say in particular, though, I love the vases that you use.
Yes,
they're so beautiful and unique. They're awesome.
Yes, I think the vase is always underrated. Yes. The vase matters. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I will, like this just happened actually this week with an order that I got. I built an arrangement in a vase that I thought, oh, this is perfect. You know, because you have to think about where is it going to be in the home or at an event, and, you know, how does it fit? So it's part of the design. Mm-hmm. And I did not like the arrangement. I was struggling with it, and I was fussing with it for way too long. So I'm like, I'm just going to switch the vase. And I just took the arrangement and plopped it in like a pewter vase. And it was like, oh, that did the job. So sometimes it is that piece that can change the whole design.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it really can.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the mission behind your business with the flowers?
So I would say that it's like bringing flowers into a home or event. You're adding the wonder and beauty of God's creation into your home. So that's what I think flowers do. And I always want to be careful to make sure that it's like, this is God's creation. Like he made these beautiful flowers, all the textures, all the smells, all the shapes, all the colors, like they're incredible. And so I think floral design can really showcase God's creation and beauty, to glorify him in that way. And so that would be my mission, to bring beauty and wonder of God's creation into homes or events. You know.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, that's great, because like it really can, like it helps towards the atmosphere, ambiance of room, help, you know, for family worship as people are gathered around the table, and also it can just really, it's like God has given us something to imitate in his creation. So here you go. That's what I'm doing. I'm imitating what God has already given. Yeah, basically.
That's right.
And I think, like, too, because they add a sort of cheeriness to the room. They instantly brighten it up. But then even, too, I think Edith Schaefer mentions this in her book, The Hidden Art of Homemaking, is that you can learn a lot by just looking at the flowers. So, like, God has designed the flowers in such a way, and she even talks about how that can inspire even dress design or clothing design if you look at the flowers. And it's really interesting how much I think they are underrated, and just the beauty of how intricately God made them all and made them all different.
Yeah. I think it is good to take time to stop and look at, like, people will do that when they're on a walk in the woods or at animals, like you can see the same design. But I do think that flowers are underrated, mainly because people are used to, like, just going to a grocery store and seeing like a tight fist closed rose, and they're like, oh, I hate roses and those are ugly. And I'm like, no, like that. So they have a really narrow view of like this amazing world of flowers and greenery and plants. Like it's, I agree. It inspires.
It does. Sure. It really, really does.
And even the smell too. They don't smell the same from the grocery stores.
Nope.
When you grow them on your own, there is a stark difference, like the smell. So I just think you should grow your own if you have the ability to, because the smell is just so different.
Yeah.
So it's clear that you put a lot of care into the beauty and upkeep of your property. Why is that? And then do you believe that there's a connection between the kind of stewardship and the Christian calling to take dominion, not just broadly in the world, but starting with our own homes and land?
Yeah, I do think that as Christians, we should have beautiful homes and beautiful gardens and beautiful yards. And it doesn't mean that it has to be perfect or large scale.
Right.
But I do think that, like, just as like we want to present ourselves like in a way that honors the Lord, like physically, like it would be the same with our homes and our gardens. They can glorify the Lord, like done for the right reason, for sure.
Right.
So, and yes, I do think it is part of that dominion mandate. Like this house we bought here in Moscow, the bottom half of our property was just overgrown and brown. There was no life there. Mm-hmm. And so, I totally reject the world's view on like, oh, you need to let nature take its course and do its thing.
Right.
Like our backyard was proof of what happens when you just let nature do its thing. Like nature was designed by God for us to care and tend, and to take dominion, and to that was like a very small example what we did in our backyard of like taking something that was just left to do its thing. But yet when you took man's tending and caring and participation with God's beautiful creation, it can be transformed into a beautiful place. So yeah, I definitely think it is part of that dominion mandate for sure.
Yeah, because once again, like imitating God, I mean, he gave us the example in the garden of a beautiful garden he created, and it's not like he said, all right, I'm done, hands off now. Look, let entropy set in here, and things just go awry. It's like, no, imitate God. You're created to work, and then also to, in imitating God, make it beautiful and in a way that would glorify him. So I think that's a really good mindset that, the culture at large needs to take back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think it's also...
I don't like to say, like, the utility, like, everything needs to be, like, there is a place for utility, for sure.
Yeah.
Efficiency, but I think we've missed, like, the beauty, like, in our homes, in our buildings, in our churches, in our yards, like, take whatever realm God's put you in and make that beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that also goes against like the minimalist mindset of like you can't have anything that's just beautiful, that's just there for beauty. It's all like you were saying, it's all for utility purposes. And I think that it's really important to go back to things are all right to have just because they're beautiful. Because in essence, they glorify and they bring God glory because he took the time to grow them, to make them beautiful. So we should do the same.
That's right. Amen.
So there seems to be a common belief in our culture that motherhood and entrepreneurship can't go hand in hand, that you have to choose one or the other. This thought, when it takes root, though, seems to kill the ambition in young women before they're even married. Since you're both a mom and entrepreneur, what advice would you give to help women navigate this, around this ditch in a God-honoring way?
Yeah, and do you mean like in singleness?
Yes.
How to do that when they're single? I would say God has given each of us talents and gifts and desires and things that we enjoy, and I think we should flourish in those, and we should work. I think young women should not just be sitting at home waiting for, a husband to arrive or whatever.
Right.
Like women are called to be industrious and wise and strong and smart, and we should be, like you said earlier with the talents, I think it's the same thing. Like we should be faithful with those talents and gifts. And I think in those years of when you're young and single, all of those, if you're industrious and honoring the Lord in those ways, those translate when you become a wife and mother in a beautiful way. Because to manage a home and a family and to be a wife and a mother, it takes like industry and wisdom and hard work. And there's seasons for sure. Like when my kids were young, I didn't have a floral business because they were little and I was homeschooling. So there are seasons to like do things, but in singleness, you are so free. That's a wonderful gift to be working, and then who knows how God will use that, like maybe when your kids are teenagers or when you're an empty nester. Like, so absolutely, I think young women should be educated, should be working hard, entrepreneurs. Like, I'm all behind that 100%.
Because I think, I can't remember where I heard this, but someone had said even like being a mom, like you were saying, is almost like you're running a business in a way. Like you kind of being, as the husband, kind of the manager, the head of the home, but you have day-to-day tasks that have to get fulfilled in order for things to run smoothly, run properly. And so like learning faithfulness now and then industriousness and what you're doing would then translate into that, because it's kind of a similar mindset.
Yes. And one more thing, I think also, like, in the single years, like, using those gifts to, like, serve your family, serve your church, serve others is a way to steward it well. So it's not all about, like, my mission or, building my dream or my world. Like, I think we should excel in our gifts and we should honor the Lord with them, but giving them away to family, to friends, to the church is a way to help, keep everything ordered well.
Yeah, because like, it's almost like a laying yourself down for other people, recognizing like that they're more important, which would, I guess, then be like what you're doing as a mom, daily laying your life down for your kids.
Yes, for sure.
So, in your bio, you mentioned that being a mom is your greatest joy and that you have hilarious teenagers. It's clear that you genuinely enjoy this stage of parenting, which goes against the common narrative that the teen years are the absolute hardest. So what would you say to younger moms who are dreading the teenager stage and wondering how to avoid the so-called terrible teen years?
Yeah, the teen years have been a blast. We love it. Maybe part of that is because when the kids were little, we really enjoyed those years. I think just being content and learning to enjoy each stage as God brings them, that will translate as they get older. And then maybe also just doing the hard work in the little years of spanking your kids, disciplining your kids, and like putting in, like, the little years are rough, but you're like, if you put in all the work, then you reap fruit in a relationship with your kids when they're teenagers that is so enjoyable and such a blessing. So I think it's two things. I mean, I'm not trying to simplify it down like it's just two things, but those were the things that came out when I read that question. Like, be content and enjoy those small years that are like physically exhausting, and then be faithful to honor the Lord in like how you care for and discipline your children, and that will reap good fruit.
Yeah, I love that, because I feel like I've seen certain moms that the ones that generally complain about the terrible twos are also the ones that complain about them the teenager phase, and it's like, well, you should be enjoying them, and so that's really good to hear that it's the opposite is true, is that if you really enjoy the younger years and take time to stop and enjoy them and be grateful for them, then you'll be grateful for them when they're older.
Yeah. For sure.
So speaking of kids, do you have a favorite family tradition?
Well, camping has always been a big part of we camp every summer, but we haven't done it since we've moved. So the kids have said, I'm not camped, because we have just been settling into like a whole new life and like new town, new church, new everything, new school. So my kids went from homeschooling to Logos. So up until this year, camping was a huge family tradition. We would camp at the coast every year, and then in the Cascades. We spent a lot of our summer time doing that. And my kids would say the same thing. Like, if you asked them a tradition, that would be one of them. And then all the holidays, birthdays, we try to party big in every way. So
Yeah. One of the mottos in this family is work hard, play hard. So that's really fun to hear that you guys seem to have the similar motto.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you guys do like the full on really difficult camping experience, or do you guys do a little bit more of like the relaxing side of camping? So do you guys do the full tents and everything?
Yeah, we have done the extreme from backpacking to glamping. Like,
Okay.
we backpack. Although I may have like chosen to stay home on some of the backpacking trips, but we would still camp as a family. We had a trailer for several years when my kids were little.
Okay.
Because in the Pacific Northwest, you get a lot of rain even in the summer.
Okay.
Like where we were from, like the West Coast. So yeah, we had a trailer, so that's considered like glamping. You know, I had a bed but we were out in the woods and we barbecued and sat by a fire
Nice.
and but we've done the tents too. Now that the kids are older, they actually prefer to be in a tent. So we've kind of done the whole range.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We haven't really done a lot of camping, but we have we'll have our own fire pit nights here, and those are a big favorite for us too. Just being outside, s'mores under the stars with a nice fire. So,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, as a mother of a young adult daughter, how would you encourage her or other girls like her not to waste their season of singleness, but to use it with purpose and intention?
Yeah, I might sound like a broken record with my answer here. Just to be, Ruthie is our one daughter. We have one daughter and three boys. Like, we're always encouraging her to like be outward focused in her life, with her gifts, with her time, in her friendships. And so that would be one way. And then to use your gifts, whatever they are, whether you're, a writer and a painter, a florist, a designer. Just faithfully stewarding those gifts, so giving them away, but also I think it's great to have a business that you can have an income for. So, I don't know that I have anything different from what I've said.
Oh, you're good.
No, that's perfect. So, on more of a historical note, if you could have tea or coffee with any woman from history, who would it be and why?
Yeah, this question was one like that kind of kept me up at night because I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of women that would be great to learn from. And I honestly kept coming back to like someone that I don't really know, but I would love to meet. And that is like, so my grandma and grandpa are full Norwegian, and then my dad's side is full Scottish. So I think I would, if I could meet with anyone today, my choice would be like one of my ancestors who immigrated over to America. Like, I would love to sit down with them, and so that would be like great or times removed. Like, I would love to sit down with them and just hear like, why did they choose to move and what was the journey like and what was it like to settle in America. And maybe part of that is because I feel like just a very small bit of a pioneer moving from where we were for. My husband and I will be married 30 years, and we both grew up over in Tacoma, so I feel a little bit like a pioneer taking my family, even though it's not like I live in a nice house. It's not like I'm cooking outside or anything, but like that resonates with me right now. Like we're kind of making a new start on behalf of future generations for our family. So I don't have a name.
That's totally fine.
So I would just say one of the matriarchs in my ancestral line. I'd love to like talk with them.
Yeah. No, it takes a certain type of woman to give that sacrifice. Talking about going back to laying your life down, that you have to be pretty strong.
Yes. To be willing to uproot and move, with children into a foreign land. And it include like, we just packed our car, but they would have to come over on ships. So it would be remarkable to hear their story.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely, I think, we as American women today need to get more of that mindset. Not that we have to live in the dresses or whatever, but just kind of that really work ethic, work hard, like think kind of, I guess, would you be willing to do that and then persevere through all the trials that would come from all of that moving?
Yeah.
So I was reading a book of Anne Bradstreet. I think it was a biography written by Douglas Wilson, and it was going through her life and how they traveled to America, and she was going through some of the details, and I was like, oh my word, what a woman. I was like, that's some serious trusting in your husband and in the Lord, that everything's going to be all right, because there was a lot to risk at that time. So
yeah,
special
a
breed of ladies.
fortitude.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So, speaking of books, is there a book that has had a major influence on you personally?
Yes, without a doubt, Even Exile by Rebecca Merkel was very transformative for me. I've read it many times. I don't know if it came out during COVID or around that time or a little bit before the 2020. Anyways, but that book was like, so not only was it an amazing like historical education for me on feminism, so I loved like just how she presented all the information. So like this is feminism, where it began and how it's wrecked our society, and then like so well. I think it's one of the most important works. I think every woman should read the book. It's one of the most important works of our time for a Christian woman. Like the glory and beauty of what it means to be a woman. I think she just showcased in such an amazing way. I remember like I would be weeding, listening to the book, listen to the audiobook, gardening.
Yeah.
Love it. Like crying. Because it was like it resonated like with tears of joy, and like it was amazing. I was like, yes, this is. And so that's why I think every woman should read it, because she captured so well and so eloquently like what it means to be a woman that honors the Lord and uses her gifts for her family. And because I think people have the wrong view of, even Christians, I did the wrong view of like what it meant to be a godly woman. She made it glorious. She didn't make it glorious. God made it glorious, but her work, like just, I don't know. I was just like, yes, it's amazing to be a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like being embarrassed or saying like, yeah, I'm just a wife and mother.
Right.
You know, like I heard a lot of that, and like even in the churches that we've attended over my whole life, like, oh yeah, what else do you do? Like, yeah, that's good. That's good that you're a wife and mother, but what else do you do? As if like that wasn't a good and glorious calling. So anyways, yeah, her book for sure.
It's such a great one.
Was transformative.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was a similar experience for me. I was like ready to run through a brick wall after reading that. I was like,
Yes.
this is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Very inspiring.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. So what is one thing that you think every woman should try at least once?
Well, to plant and grow something for sure. Like even if you're not a gardener, some people don't have a green thumb. I don't think you have to have a big English garden or a beautifully landscaped yard, but you have a patio where you could buy a flower pot and grow something. There is something about like seeing God's creation at work, planting a seed into the ground and seeing it bear fruit or grow a beautiful flower. Like it's amazing. So
And even
plant and grow something. Yeah.
And even it's like I remember it being a great activity for us even when we were little, because our first garden, I was like 8 or so when we started doing that, and it just kind of, for what it taught perseverance through the, when it got bigger, hot weather, being out there and weeding and moving rocks or whatever, but then also like just I remember it being really cool to do that alongside like my parents, and then just to see the whole process of like this itty bitty seed is going to grow into something that's going to feed us. And so that is just, it's really neat even just for families to do together too.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think it combines beautifully the practicality and the beauty as well. So it's like, it's something that you can beautify your property with, but then at the same time, it also does have practical uses as well, whether that may just be beauty and it teaches you to love and appreciate God's work and what he's done, or whether that's like if you're growing vegetables or something like that and you're like, I can feed my family with this. It really is a fun dynamic there of like, it's something that's beautiful and it's useful in multiple ways. Yep,
for sure. And just to see the world that God has created for us to enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does that as well. Like I was saying earlier, like the wonder of like God's creation. I think that is that aspect of like interacting with God's creation in that way is so inspiring. And
is.
I think even people who might not be a gardener or want to plant something, if they were to try it, they may be surprised. Like, oh, I want to do a little more.
Yeah.
Yes. And it also gives you a better understanding of scripture as well, because there are multiple parables that have to do with gardening or planting a seed. And it does help you understand that better, knowing that you've done it and you're like, oh, okay, that relates more. I understand what he's trying to communicate here because I've done it.
That's right.
So if your life had a soundtrack, what would be one song on it?
This was the other question. So who would you have tea or coffee with? And I would have coffee because coffee is better than tea.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack. So it's funny because I listen to music and I like music, but I'm not like a music buff or movies. It's funny. Like, and I'm not opposed to any of that. Like, my kids watch movies, we watch movies, but I don't have like I don't know, like, it depends on my mood. I'll listen to classical music or country music, but like one song, I even asked my husband, I'm like, what would be my song? He's like, so, I don't know, I kind of flat on that question. Like,
No, it's fine. No, we're the same way. It depends on like, because it even depends on what we're maybe having for dinner. If it's like Italian, we'll just turn on Italian music, or if we're working outside, the country music's blaring. But then if we're working out, we have a different set of songs, and so it depends on what you're doing and what mood you're in.
Yes.
I do have a quick question though. Are you the old countryside or the new countryside?
So we tend more towards the older.
Okay.
But we do listen to some of the newer stuff. My kids like the newer stuff. That's actually, my boys like the newer stuff. My daughter, she likes like Randy Jackson and all the older, older country. So it's a mix. It's a mix. How about you guys?
We tend, I think, towards more of the new country.
Yeah.
So like Luke Combs. I'm trying to think of everybody else I listen to. Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
That's kind of more where we land. But it also depends. Like my brothers really like Morgan Wallen. We're kind of iffy on it, so it kind of depends.
Yeah.
Our dad introduced us to more of the older country. We can get into a few of them, but we definitely lean more towards the new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So another question about music. So when you're working in your garden, are you more likely to listen to a podcast or to music?
Oh, that's a good question.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Same.
But when I'm arranging flowers, I do listen to music.
Okay.
And I will because I'm like high energy, always moving. So so the music is like, it helps me I kind of get into a groove with the music. But I feel like I can multitask in a good way when I'm gardening and listening, taking in, podcasts where when I'm cooking or in the house cleaning or with my kids, I want to be fully there. So I don't want to be listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
I love
Unless I'm by myself.
The music definitely is when you're arranging. There is and I'll float from all sorts of different genres of music. I guess it depends on the style I'm doing, or once again the mood. But it really does. That's also an inspiring thing. You're like, for whatever reason, the creativity really just flows when you got the music going. It's really funny.
Yeah, it is.
So do you have a particular podcast that you like to listen to when you're gardening?
I listen to Nancy Wilson's podcast, The Femina.
Okay.
That's a really good one.
I've listened to her for years. And I like Home Fires.
That's a good
Abigail
one.
Dodds and Joy Dillahay. What else? I'll listen to audiobooks too. Right now I'm working through Weight of Glory. Because it's a series of lectures. Mm-hmm. So I can do like a half an hour. And just pick a specific topic. It just depends. Those are the two podcasts that I listen to on a normal basis.
Okay.
And then just audiobooks as well. If I'm working through, it's a nice way for me to be learning and growing.
Yeah.
But while working.
Yeah.
No, we do the same thing because when our garden is in the throes, and so we're going out every morning and picking and collecting everything. And I'll usually just turn on like an audiobook, and right now I'm working through The Clouds You So Much Dread. But there's something about when you're out there listening to something. It's very helpful, and it makes you feel good about it because you feel like you're tackling more than one project off of your list while you're working and gardening. So
yeah, mind, body, and soul.
Yes,
yes. So true.
Yes.
So, what is one trend that you just cannot get behind, and why?
So, like, dress? Is that what you're talking about? Like a fashion trend, or?
Yeah, design, fashion, maybe music trend.
Yeah, well, there's two fashion trends I've never really liked.
Okay.
Hopefully, I don't know what it's called, the style, but it's when you have like a shirt that has like a tank top and then a draping. Loose
I know what you're talking about.
the material that hangs down.
Yes.
It might not even be a trend anymore. I'm 48, so like maybe girls don't wear those anymore. But I remember when I was a kid, I'd be like, that's so gross. And then like anything like the midriff, like that's just like raunchy. So there's like certain trends like that where I'm like, those need to go. Like that's so tacky.
It is.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, the weird shoulder one was definitely weird because it's like, I don't know why you want to expose just that little piece right there. I don't know why that needs to be, of all the things.
Yeah, like either wear a tank top.
Yep.
It's fine. Like that's what we wear. Like, but don't ever wear like an off the shoulder like that.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's really weird.
There might be certain things where I'd be like, that's fine. But
yeah.
Oh,
no, that's hilarious.
I had forgotten about that one.
So, what is something that stood out to you recently that has captured the essence of feminine glory?
Yeah, I have thought about that one a little bit. I think in moving here to Moscow, seeing the women here who are faithfully loving their husbands and their kids, and also using their God-given gifts for business or to bless the church has been amazing. So like in our community, and I'm new here, we have, teachers and musicians and painters and authors, people who roast coffee, who own businesses. And that's been going on for a long time. So like to see that beauty, like it doesn't have, like you guys were asked me that question at the beginning, like it doesn't have to be one or the other. To see women who have done that really well for a long time, have honored the Lord in that way, is something I haven't really experienced before. It's very unique, at least for me, from where we came from, this community. Women flourish here and are so industrious, and it's not, their family doesn't suffer for it. If anything, like their family is built up for it. So just to see women who are building and working and beautifying this world with all of their gifts and talents has been amazing. Like one really sweet example is down in our neighborhood, down the road, there is a young mom who goes to our church, and their kids go to Logos school, but she has all the little years, and they bought chickens this year. And she decided to have like a little chicken business with her kids. So she has 4 kids, and they're all very little, but they, it's called the Schultz Egg Service, and they'll walk, the 2 older ones, they make a little card, and they deliver me eggs, because I don't have chickens.
Aww.
They deliver me fresh eggs every week. But what is so amazing is this mom, she loves her children, and she's being faithful at home, but she's also teaching her children, like, here, we could have a business, and you could serve the community, and you could make some money, and this is how you give good customer service. So she's teaching her kids. She's being really fruitful and helping her kids. Like, they're going to have reference for this, like, later on in life. Like, oh yeah, I remember when we had this egg business. Like, who knows how God will use that in their life. But that's done like on larger scales here and smaller scales and in all different fields. So that's been great.
That's amazing to see, like, when you hear stories like that, like women literally being the Proverbs starting with woman. So it's like, it started with the home and then kind of overflowed from there into the community, and like how many people that blesses, like you're saying, the family and then everyone else beyond that. I think that's a really, really neat thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that's
sure.
It's important too, because to not just have the narrow mindset of being a homemaker doesn't mean you're just cornered to the four corners of your home. It's
Right.
It can be an outpouring, and you can do other things besides working inside the home and having that the only thing that you do. It needs to be your main focus, but it doesn't have to be that you just have to work only in the four walls of your house.
Yep. That's what I loved about Rebecca Merkel's book.
Yes.
I think she did that so well, where a lot of women could resonate with that. Like, oh yeah, I love flowers, and I could arrange flowers, and I'm doing it. I'm not going to, my family's not going to suffer for it. Like,
right.
You can have both. Yeah.
Yes. But it's like, it's funny. It really is a fine, intricate balance, because you could take it into either ditch really quickly.
Yes.
Especially in this culture where I feel like both are being promoted heavily, both ditches. Yeah. So that's awesome. And what a great way to teach your kids.
Yeah.
That's right. I think for me, like as a wife, one way to avoid that ditch has been like, Josh is my husband. I will always go and say, like, I was asked to do this wedding. Do you think that will fit with our family schedule? Is it too much? Like, that is a way to avoid, once you're married, that's a way to like have the balance, is like, we are always talking about like what would be best. So yeah, it's just accountability for me to make sure I'm keeping my priorities straight, because I'm not above falling into that ditch at all. Like I have to constantly come back to like, my priorities and ordering my loves in the right way. So
yeah. And I think like Rachel Jankovic says, like keeping your hands open and just being like, Lord, it's always having that on the altar of like, I may need to give this up at any moment. Like we're both very aware that like, oh, we might have to give up the podcast soon, or we might have to give up each of our individual businesses depending on what happens next in life. And just keeping your hands open like that, I think, is also very, very important.
Yes.
Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
It went by way too fast.
Thank you for having
me. It did. It flew by.
It did.
Like, way too fast.
Okay, good. It didn't drag on.
No, not at all.
Definitely not.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you all for joining us today, and we will see you on the next episode of the Feminine Glory Podcast.
Bye, guys.